Hello, all of you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
My screen is visible?
No.
Okay. Now it's visible, now?
हाँ sir.
Okay. So let's start. Just 1 minute, I'll just check if any message is there because my paper was there today. Okay. So now our target is all of you just see. Yeah? So we completed this fuzzy logic part and the last chapter. Then now our target is the next big chapter is this one for 12 hours artificial neural network. And but I mean, at least you know about this because if you see the first section, this part 5.1, you all are aware of, and in 5.5.2, I don't know, most of you might have not learned because it was not there, I think, in the machine learning part. But till here the all these things were there, but still I'll be taking from the start, so don't worry about that. But the way no our this fuzzy logic took time, the similar way this chapter will take the time, so it's a big chapter. And then after that, once this is also over, and simultaneously I'll target this chapter also, because unless until I finish this, I won't be able to start the practical. And about practical, you don't worry at all, because our practicals we can finish very fast. Okay, so it will not take time at all. Only thing, one day I'll have to tell that do this, do that, and then you all will be able to do. And there will be one application, like whatever project you might have done in the machine learning, same application you can show in this particular subject also. And you can say that we have designed this particular application. So don't worry about the practical. You can prepare the report and all, and you can attach the same report, and with some conclusions. Okay, and the way I will tell, you can include that particular thing in our current syllabus. So don't worry about that, and this practical can be done very quickly. What I'm thinking is I'll start both the chapters simultaneously. Okay, so let's say for 1 or 2 days I'll be taking this chapter, then at the same time, because you are familiar with this chapter, and this chapter has lots of problems also. And at the same time, before starting the practical, I'll just want to finish this particular chapter. This is a 4 hour chapter only. So let's say tomorrow or after day after tomorrow, I'll take this particular chapter, and it's a 4 hour chapter, so it can be over very quickly. So what I'm thinking is, now I'll start with the artificial neural network, and then simultaneously in between I'll try to finish this one also. So quickly, our this first chapter, and this once this fifth chapter is over, then we will be remaining with this second chapter and third chapter, and then we can fully concentrate over here. So let's start with this particular chapter, and it will have a lots of problem also. So let's start with the artificial neural network. If you remember, in the last semester, in the sixth semester in machine learning, we might have learned about different types of learning. Okay, what do you mean by learning? Then different types of learning, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. Okay, and then after that, what do you mean by neurons? Then what do you mean by neural network? And then after that, what do you mean by McCulloch-Pitts model? Okay, and then designing few problems here and there with the help of McCulloch-Pitts model. So a few problems based on the McCulloch-Pitts model. And then after that uh, we'll be solving all the problems based on the perceptron. Then many problems will come like backpropagation network and different types of learning. So different neural networks are there, and based on that we have to solve the problems like delta learning rule is there, backpropagation algorithm is there, perceptron is there, Hebbian learning rule is there. So like these 5 6 learning rules are there, and based on all the different learning rules we have to solve the problem. And then after that, unsupervised learning, they have included self-organizing feature map. So this will also take some time. So let's start with the introduction part, that is fundamental concept and basic models of artificial neural network. So let's start. So from where I start, I normally start with the biological neuron. Okay, so from where this concept is taken, this concept is taken exactly, it's a replica of our human brain, right? The way, I mean, in the human brain we have lots of neurons. For example, if you see here, a human brain consists of approximately 10 raised to 11 computing elements. Okay, 10 raised to 11 computing elements, and these are called as neurons. So in the human brain, we are having approximately 10 raised to 11 computing elements. So basically, they participate in the computation. Okay, that's why they are called as what? Computing elements, and those are called as neurons. So basically, the entire neural network idea is taken from our human system only. The way we try to think any problem, the way we try to solve. Okay, in the similar way, the people thought whether machine can solve the problem. In the similar way, what different things happens in the brain. In the similar way, whether output can be generated by designing the artificial neural network or not, and just they try to replicate it. But you know that today also, even if no even if a grade surgeon, brain surgeon is there, right? And if any surgery, if anybody will tell you that you require surgery of your neck or brain, then also you will think 100 times whether you will go for that particular surgery or not, right? Because still people are not so expert in, even it's a very small part of the body. Okay, and so many years we have passed, and science has emerged to such an extent that even a machine can do the no operation and all. But then also people hesitate a lot, they will think 100 times. Okay, even one nerve is missing, one nerve will go damage here and there, then entire body can be paralyzed. So its consequences are so much, right? So so it's I mean, what I'm trying to say is it's very difficult, even though so many years have passed, but still a long way ahead to exactly replicate the entire system of no human in the artificial neural network. So just remember for this point that what do you mean by neurons? Neurons are just like your computing elements, which are there approximately 10 raised to 11 in the human body. Now, how what they do, they try to communicate. Okay, they try to communicate through a connection of network of axons and synapses. Okay, there we are having the axons and synapses, and it creates a density. Okay, it's a bush like structure where we are having the synapses in the range of 10 raised to 4 synapses per neuron. So if there is one neuron is there, we'll be having 10 raised to 4 synapses to that particular neuron. Now neurons communicate with each other by means of electrical impulses. Okay, so they also generate some electrical impulses. When that electrical impulses is generated, that is a different question. For example, let's say suppose there is one neuron. Now that neuron will try to collect the information. Okay, so for certain period of time, for example, every neuron has the no capacity to compute. So when it will fire, when it will produce the output, so there is some criteria is there. So for example, if certain neuron is collecting the information, it will go on collecting the information until one threshold will be there. Okay, once that threshold is reached, it will going to fire it. So based on the same concept, your artificial neural network is also designed. So we are taking the one neuron, artificial neuron, and then we are giving the inputs, and then we say that after this particular threshold, this neuron should give the output. So here some 30 of some 40 millivolt, 30 or 40 millivolt voltage is generated a little bit. Okay, some chemical reaction is done, and if that voltage is reached, millivolt voltage is reached, then the neuron will going to fire. So we'll see ahead what is the exact number. So just remember that they communicate through a connection network of axons and synapses having a density of approximately 10 to 4 synapses per neuron. So we are having 10 to 11 computing element neurons, and per neuron we are having 10 to 4 synapses. Okay, and how they communicate? They communicate through a connection of axons and synapses. Now, neuron communicate with each other by means of electrical impulses. Then, neuron operate in a chemical environment. Thus, the electrical switching network conditioned largely by the biochemical process. So, in our brain, we can say there is a biochemical process, okay, which happens and which will going to generate some kind of voltage. And when it will reach to a certain level, then that particular neuron will going to fire. Now there is a one diagram, and then we will going to study this particular part. So I'll just show you this particular diagram. What I'll do, I'll just copy these. Okay. So how we take the inputs from the environment, okay? How we take the inputs from the environment. So basically we are having the sensory organs, right? So we are having different types of sensory organ. Let's say there is a skin is there, which is a sensory organ, right? If mosquito bites over there, then we will get the signal through the skin, right? Then that signal will be sent to, so basically this is a diagram where we are having the receptors. Receptors means these sensory organs will be there. They are called as what? Receptors. So they will going to receive the sensory signals, okay, and then this signal, these whatever signals will be received, they will be going to transfer to the central nervous system. So we are having the central nervous system where basically the processing will be done. So what do you mean by the processing? For example, let's say suppose you are seeing an image of suppose I'm seeing the Mandar photo, okay, so some processing will happen in my mind that this is a, he is a B student, okay, he's a CR of B. So some kind of processing will happen, some information I might have already no stored in my brain, okay, I might have seen his face some earlier time. So whatever information is there, the brain will try to process it, and it will try to generate the signal. What kind of signal it needs to be generated, whether I'll have to give certain whether I have to send certain information to Manda, or whether I have to notify certain thing, or whether I'll have to tell him to do certain thing, right? So what information I want to pass. For example, if mosquito will bite, that particular signal will be sent to the central nervous system. Now central nervous system will process it, whether but previously this thing has happened. If this was happened, then what the nervous system has done, right? And if it has not already happened, then whatever is the current situation, based on that also it can make the decision, right? So basically what we try to do, we try to hit that particular mosquito. So our central nervous system will also immediately send the signals to the effectors. Okay, so the signals will go to the effectors. What do you mean by effectors? Effectors are basically a motor organs which will going to take the actions, right? So let's say my hand is a motor organ. The immediately central nervous system has sent the signals to motor organs, that is to my hand, that please hit that mosquito because it's biting. So my hand will go over there, and then mosquito ka kaam tamam ho jayega there, right? So it's a structure like this. We will receive the signal from the sensory organs, then it will be sent to the central nervous system. Central nervous system will take this decision to to give the command to motor organs whether what kind of action to be executed. Now two things are there. So one external feedback will be there. For example, once this command will be executed, and we have we have killed that mosquito, then a certain kind of external feedback will be sent. Okay, external feedback will be sent to the receptory sensory organs. So we can take the feedback from the outer side also, okay, and from the inner side also. For example, if something is happening in our body, let's say suppose a headache is going on or stomach pain is there, and then we took some medicine, okay, and then the pain is relieved, then how we will get the signal, okay, how we will get the feedback? So internally only we will going to get the feedback, okay, from the outer world we will not going to get the signal, okay. But if anything external is happening to us, then from the outer organs we will going to get the feedback. So this is what, from the two ways we can get the feedback. It's basically a closed loop system. From the two ways we're going to get the signal. One is from the external feedback, okay, if there anything is happening externally. If within the body if something is happening, then the feedback will be internal. So whether this diagram is clear to all of you, because if it is asked for 5 marks or 10 marks, you will have to basically draw. The question will be like this: write a short note on central nervous system. Write a short note on central nervous system. Please write the question. First question, right? Explain biological neuron in detail. Explain biological neuron in detail. Explain biological neuron in detail. Whether I am audible to all of you? If connection is there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Because
Yes,
light
sir.
issue is so much that, yeah. So the first question, right? Explain biological neuron. And second question, right? Write a short note on central nervous system. Write a short note on central nervous system. So if you are explaining about biological neuron, so biological neuron will cover all this answer. But specifically, if the university will ask, write a short note on central nervous system, then you will have to draw basically this diagram, and you will have to explain each and every part of this diagram. Okay. So we are having the receptors, sensory organs, central nervous system, where processing will take place. This is the body part, and then whatever processing is done, based on that, certain signal will be sent to the effectors. If the motor organs to be given a command, okay, then the motor organs will take the actions, and based on that, if the if the thing is externally happened, then external feedback will be sent. Otherwise, if it's within the body, okay, then the internal feedback will be sent to the central nervous system. So this is about the central nervous system. Now let's go over there. Okay. So just see here, the input to a neural network is provided by sensory receptors. Okay, so that input is taken from the receptors. The receptors deliver stimuli both from the within the body as well as from sense organs when the stimuli originate in the external world. So this stimuli it can generate within the body also. For example, stomach pain is happening, so that signal, that stimuli will be generated from within the body. Okay, it will not going to generate from outside the world. But if anything is happening outside world, for example, if mosquito is biting, okay, that example I took, so that is happening outside, so that signal will be generated through the skin, right? So there are two types of stimuli can be generated. Then the stimuli are in the form of electrical impulses that it's convey the information into the network of neurons. Okay, and as a result of information processing in the central nervous system, the effectors are controlled and given human responses in the form of diverse actions. So different types of action can be taken, and it will be delivered in the form of effectors actions. Okay. So we have a three-stage system consisting of receptors, neural network, and effectors. So basically it's describing about this diagram in a control of organisms and its actions. Now
So
let's,
can you scroll up a little bit so that we can note that down? Yes, sir.
you want to note it because it will take time, na, Archana.
Okay, sir. I was
I
trying to.
will upload
Mm.
this one. Yeah, one problem we may face that some letters will not be proper.
Yes, sir. That's why while you're dictating it, we are noting it
Okay,
down.
okay. So is there any option I'll communicate and then it will be recorded? It will be written. I think there was one, so but exactly it will not convert into text. I think depends. I never tried that. So you want me to repeat this thing?
So the stimuli are in the form of electrical impulses. What is
Okay,
written in that?
I want to see where this one, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the stimuli are in the form of electrical impulses that it's convey the information. It convey the information into the network of neurons. Here you can write as a result of information processing. As a result of information processing in the central nervous system. Okay, okay, I understood. One book is the Zurada book. I'll just see. I might be having on the Moodle, so I'll just download that particular book. it might be there on the Moodle, or I'll just take my folder. And this answer is taken from that particular. So if I'll be able to take from that book the entire screenshot of the page, then it will be much helpful for you people, because writing will be here there, so it's difficult to decode entire thing. Okay, so the stimuli are in the form of electrical impulses that it's convey the information into the network of neurons. As a result of information processing in the central nervous system, the effectors are controlled and given human responses in the form of diverse actions. The effectors are controlled and given human responses in the form of diverse actions. One software is there na, where we can put this page and then it will detect the handwriting. Okay, then app is there, I think. And then it will try to convert into English proper statement. I'll have to check whether it's working properly with the image or not. I think the app is there.
So there's an app, sir. You
Yeah,
can find it on Play Store, Google Play Store. It clicks the photo and it converts into Word.
but whether it's proper, I mean, it's converting
Yeah,
properly. We will
yes,
have
sir. I tried it out, so it works, sir.
Okay, okay, okay.
So you can scroll down.
Yeah. So here, with the help of this diagram, you can explain in your own words that from the receptors we take the sensory signals, okay, and the receptor job is to just receive the signal, and then it will send to the central nervous system. And what different types of receptors we are having? Our all the sense organs, those are our receptors. And then the central nervous system job is to process that particular signal and decode that signal, what different types of action it can take, and based on that what kind of action is needed, it can give the command to effectors where we are having the motor organs, okay, and motor organs will take certain actions. So if mosquito is there, it will try to hit that mosquito, right? And then whether the action is done or not, so that feedback is taken internally as well as I mean, if the internal problem is there, then the feedback can be taken internally. Otherwise, the feedback can be taken from the external, because if it has happened externally, right? So this is what we have to basically explain in our own words. And then after that, let's see the next point. So from the figure, we say that the information is processed, evaluated, and compared with the stored information. Some information we might be having already in our central nervous system, right, which is already stored in the central nervous system. So from the figure, we say that the information is processed, evaluated, and compared with the stored information in the central nervous system. When necessary, commands are generated, and these there, and transmitted to the motor organs. The motor organs are monitored by the central nervous system by the feedback that verify their action. Both internal and external feedback control the implementation of the commands. So overall, central nervous system is a closed loop control system, because if you see, if for any particular system we are taking the feedback, so that system will become a closed loop system. Okay. Now let's come to this biological neuron. So if biological neuron question is asked, you will have to explain from the first point only. Okay, don't directly jump to on this particular diagram and then explain. Obviously this is the main answer, but you will have to also explain that central nervous system all apart from the start. So just write 1 or 2 points about the synapses, axons. So don't worry, here I'll be explaining about the axons and synapses. So axons, synapses, then the number of neurons, okay, and what is the job of that neuron, computing things, and then about the central nervous system, and then you come to this particular biological neuron. Okay, so let's see this biological neuron. So if you see here, this is a diagram of biological neuron. Yeah, so if you see here, it's having a bush like structure. Okay, it's a threaded structure, and it will be very dense. Okay, very dense. So these threaded like kind of structure are called as what? Dendrites. These are dendrites. Now there is one cell is there. Okay, this is called a cell body. This is called and by the way, this is a structure of one single neuron. Okay, it's a structure of one single neuron. So that's why the name is what? Biological neuron. So it's a whole structure of single neuron. So a single neuron consists of what? Dendrites. Then it consists of axon. This line which is there, okay, it's a tubular line is available through which the impulses are passed from the cell body to the neighboring neurons. Okay, so this tube-like structure. This is called as what? Axon. Then what do you mean by synapses? Whether you read out it as a synapse or synapses. Okay, so there is a gap between two neighboring neurons. For example, this is the axon of another neuron, right? And this is the axon of this particular neuron. So they are coming together at some particular point, and they are not completely joined to each other, but there will be a little bit gap will be available. Okay, a little bit gap will be there, and they will be having some kind of this kind of structure. This is called a terminal button. Some bulb shaped kind of structure will be there, and some gap will be there. So this is called a synapse, and this gap is called a synaptic gaps. Okay, synaptic gap, where that chemical process takes place, and then the voltage will be generated. So this is the area where this thing will happen. So just remember, axon is there, then this cell is there. This is called a cell body. Okay, through the axon, the impulses will go, it will flow to the neighboring neurons, and this thread-like structure will be there, which is called a dendrites. So with the thread-like structure, okay, so many thread-like structure will be there. It's very dense structure. So even if one thread here and because continuous wear and tear process will take place, okay, and it happens with the age also, right? So but it will not completely affect your nervous system. So few of the things will be destroyed, few of the things will be generated. So this is a characteristic of the biological neuron. Okay, this is characteristic of the human body. Few cells will be destroyed, few cells will be generated. So this thing happens. But with the artificial neural network, if certain thing is destroyed, then it will be it will be a lot of problem. Okay, even if one connection here and there will go. Okay, so now let's study. So the elementary nerve cell called a neuron is the building block of the biological neuron network. So a schematic diagram of the neuron is shown below. This is a schematic diagram. Now let's see here. A typical cell has three major regions. The cell body, that is also called as soma. So this cell body is also called as soma. This is called as soma. The axon, this is a axon. Okay, so long fiber that serve as a transmission line. Okay, long cylindrical connection that carries the impulses from the neuron, and the end part of that axon splits into a fine arborization. That is, the final part will be like again the threaded kind of structure. Okay, but then the another neuron will be collected. Another neuron will be connected through the axon. Okay, for example, suppose I am drawing from here any axon, and then it will be connected to this particular part, and then it will become the main axon part, and then another neuron may be collected through this. Let me draw and then show you over here. Okay, so for example, just wait. Yeah. So this is axon, and this is your cell, soma. Now let's say I'm having another axon, another neuron over here. This is also having like this. Let's put its axon over here. So it will be connected by this axon with this particular dendroid main. Okay, and let's say there will be one straight line will be there, or some kind of cylindrical shape will be there, right? And and every dendrites, okay, may turn into a axon, and it will be connected to the neighboring neuron. For example, one cell is over here and it is connected with this particular thing, right? So there will be little bit gap, and then it will be having a boost kind of structure, threaded structure. Then the another neuron will be connected with this one. So the structure is basically like this, and all these neurons will be connected to each other by this thread kind of structure, but the connection will not be exactly connected. There will be a little bit gap, which is called as the synapse. So idea is like this. Okay, so the dendrites, okay, here splits into a fine urbanization. Each branch of that urbanization is terminate into a small end bulb almost. The another other part is not there here, but what it means to say is this one. So each end is terminated into an end bulb that is called as a terminal button. Okay, this will be called as what? Terminal button. So it's just like it is zoomed over here and it is shown in this particular fashion. So I'll just draw this. So it's like the final part will be the end bulb. So it's like this. Okay, it's not exactly connected. This is called as what? Terminal button. Terminal button. So I'll just try to search that particular book, or from that book I'll post the pages so that it will be helpful for you. But whether this is clear, this diagram is clear little bit. If you are having any doubt, please ask me. So whatever signal is generated in the cell, it will be basically passed through this axon to the nearest to the the synaptic gap. Okay, and here what it will happen when this neuron will going to fire, when the voltage, I mean here some biological chemical reaction will take place, and when the voltage at that particular point will reach to certain level where let's say 40 millivolt is generated, then this will going to fire. So it will fire, and then whatever neuron is connected to the with this particular axon, it will receive the signal. So it happens like this. So dendrites form a dendritic tree, very fine bush of thin fibers around around the neuron, you can say. Then dendrites receive information from the neuron through the axons. Okay, and what is the synapses? The synapses are the axon dendrite contact. The axon dendrite contact. So for example, if you see here, this is my axon, it's going over there. Then with some other dendrites, for example, which I shown you this particular diagram. Okay, so let's say these are the dendrites of this neuron, then the axon of another neuron will be connected over here. Okay, and then it will be having a bush kind of structure. So let's say the axon of another neuron will be connected. So this is what the axon dendrite contact organ is called as synapse. The synapse is where the neuron introduces its signal to the neighboring neuron. So if you see here, the synapse is what? Where it will introduce the signal to the neighboring neuron. Okay. The signal reaching a synapse and received by the dendrites are electrical impulses. Okay, it's electrical impulses. So the interneuronal transmission, means between two neurons. The transmission is sometimes electrical, but is usually affected by the release of chemical transmitters at the synapse. Thus, the terminal buttons generate the chemical that affects the receiving neuron. The receiving neuron either generates an impulse to its axon or produces no response. So for example, the neuron is able to respond to the total of its inputs aggregated within a short time interval called the period of latent summation. So what do you mean by latent summation? Latent summation is what, for example, certain time is allocated. For that period of time, the amount of inputs aggregated, that is called as what? Latent summation, period of latent summation. So for a certain period of time, the amount of inputs is gathered, okay, collected. That is called as what? Period of latent summation. So just make a note of this. The neuron is able to respond to the total of its input aggregated within a short time interval called the period of latent summation. The neuron is able to respond to the total of its input. See, when the neuron will collect the information, when neuron will collect the, I mean, receive the information and all, it will try to store somewhere. Okay, let's say storing in the synaptic gap, and then immediately it will not going to fire it. Okay, it will take some time, the certain threshold to be reached. Till that particular point, it will not going to fire. So when it will going to fire, that period of time which it took from starting point to that particular point is called as what? Latent period of summation. Period of latent summation. So the neuron is able to respond to the total of its inputs aggregated within a short time interval called the period of latent summation. So the neuron's response is generated if the total potential of its membrane, what do you mean by potential? Potential is what? Voltage. Okay. We say now what is the potential difference between node A and node B, right? So we take the potential difference. This potential is what? Voltage. So the neuron's response is generated if the total potential of its membrane, so that is the membrane of that neuron, if the total potential of that neuron membrane reaches a certain level, the membrane can consider as a shell which aggregates the magnitude of the voltages, okay, and then magnitude of the incoming signals over some duration. So that is latent period of summation. So the neuron generates a pulse response and sends it to the another neurons only if the condition necessary for firing are fulfilled. So that necessary condition we have to find out, right? So what is that necessary condition? When a neuron will fire the signal and it will give the signal, it will transmit the signal to the another neuron. So there is a necessary condition for firing a neuron. So what is that necessary condition? Remember one thing, there are two kinds of signal. One is excitatory signal and another is inhibitory signal. So if the excitatory signals are generated, that will going to excite the neuron, it will going to fire it. But if inhibitory signals are generated, this is the inhibitory signal and the excitatory signal. So if inhibitory signals are generated, then it will stop the neuron to fire. Okay, it will not allow the neuron to fire. It will basically try to put some hindrances, okay, some hurdles. So there are two kinds of signal: inhibitory signals and excitatory signals. If the excitatory signals are there, the neuron at the end will going to fire. But inhibitory signals are there, then the neuron will not going to fire. So this is what impulses can be excitatory if they cause firing, inhibitory if they hinder the firing of the response. So more precise condition for firing is that the excitation should exceed the inhibition by the amount called threshold of the neuron, typically a value of about, so that value is not there, but it will be 40 millivolt. Okay, it will be 40 millivolt. It has not come over there. So typically a value of about 40 millivolt. Okay, please note this. So when the neuron will going to fire, when its excitatory signal will exceed the inhibitory signal by certain threshold, okay, and that is called as what? Threshold of the neuron, typically a value of about 40 millivolt. So synaptic connections causes the excitatory or inhibitory reactions of the receiving neuron, positive and negative. Okay, so now how we can represent this excitatory or inhibitory signal? So whenever we try to draw the neurons in artificial neural network, what we say, if this is a neuron, it will be connected through different weights, right? And let's say x1, x2, x3 are the inputs, right? So this is a w1, let's say, equal to 1, w2 equal to 1, w3, let's say, is equal to -1. So what do you mean by this -1? This is an inhibitory signal. Okay, it's an inhibitory signal. It will produce certain kind of obstacles in firing of this particular neuron, whereas these two signals are what? Excitatory signals. Okay, so positive signals are considered as what? Excitatory signals, and negative signals are called as what? Inhibitory signals. The thing is taken from the brain only, but how to implement it? So they try to implement with the negative weight, and the excitatory signal they replicated by what? The positive weights. Okay. Now, so neuron firing condition can be reformulated as follows. The neuron fires when the total of the weights, so this is for the artificial neural network it's taken, that neuron fires when the total of the weights to the receive impulses exceeds the threshold value during the latent summation period. Okay, what was the latent summation period? The period for which the neuron took for firing action. Okay, so for that particular period it just went on aggregating the input signals, and at one particular point it fired. So that particular period is called as what? Latent summation period. Then there is one term called a refractory period. Refractory period. So what do you mean by this refractory period? Is after carrying a pulse, an axon fiber is in a state of complete excitability for a certain time, called the refractory period. For example, for a certain period of time, it will not do anything. Okay, the moment it will fire, the moment after carrying a pulse, an axon will be in a state of complete non-excitability for a certain time, and that is called as a refractory period. So for this time interval, the nerve does not conduct any signal, okay, regardless of the intensity of the excitation. Clear? So for this particular period, it will not conduct any this thing, and assume that if in that period only if something will come, then this will not going to respond at all. Clear? So will not be able to make the decision. I don't know uh, how to make the analogy from this, but for example, let's say suppose you are driving a car, or more will be suitable for if you're flying a flight, okay, and you are a pilot. We need to take decision very fast, very quickly, okay, within seconds, otherwise something may happen. So there it comes into picture, because for few people they respond a little bit late, okay, and they process it and then they try to understand it and then they try to respond it, though they will respond it correctly, but they will take little bit time. But we want quick decisions, and so let's say if that particular period of time, if we are not taking the decision, so then the refractory I mean the action cannot be performed, right? And then certain accident may take place. So that is what, that is a refractory period. Clear? So I mean, you can take the analogy in that way, but it cannot be exactly compared, because few people, I mean, it also depends on their intelligence. Few are quick decision makers and they have more intelligence, so they can make decisions in that way. But sometimes we feel suddenly nothing comes in our mind. Okay, so that thing you can equate. But there is a one period, the way we are having a blind spot in our eye, there is a blind spot. If the image of any object will fall in that particular spot, then we cannot see that particular object, okay, we'll not be able to see. So there is some blind spot. You will be learning in image processing, okay. So there is one blind spot in our eye, so at which particular point you won't be able to see the object. If the image of any object will fall in that, but in that area, you won't be able to see the object, even though your eyes are proper, okay, both the eyes are proper, then also you won't be able to see the image. For example, yeah, in if you'll see, if you Google that blind spot of eye, you will see the example also, okay. For example, if you take any image and you just bring it more closer, then at one particular point you won't be able to see that particular object. Clear? So examples also you can see on the Google, it will be given. You can just carry out that particular experiment. Okay, so this was the overall about the biological neuron, then about the central nervous system and the structure of one single biological neuron. So again, I'm explaining about the diagram. So basically, this is the structure of the neuron, and basically, this part is called as what, also known as soma or cell body, and then the cell will conduct the impulses through a long fiber kind of cylindrical structure that is called as what, axon, with the axon and the dendroid of the another neuron, it will be connected. It will not be exactly connected, but there will be a small gap, and the area is called a synapse, and the gap is called a synaptic gap. And the final the terminal point will be a structure similar to this one. This is called as terminal button, and this bush like structure will be there, and then the another neuron, another axon of any other neuron will be connected to this particular dendroid. Okay, and this is how they carry the impulses through the axon. Once the impulses will be sent to this particular area, it will be accumulated over there, and there is something called the latent period of summation. Till that particular time period, it will try to accumulate the signals, and once the one time will reach where certain threshold will be reached, and then it will try to fire the neuron. There are two kinds of signal. One is inhibitory signal and another is excitatory signal. The analogy of inhibitory signal is taken into artificial neural network as what? Negative weights, and for excitatory signal, it is taken as what? Positive weights. Then here in the this thing in the brain or in the body of the human, there is a biochemical reaction. Okay, but in the real time scenario, in the artificial neural network, we take the inputs and there is no such kind of reactions. Okay, what we do, we take the inputs, we try to calculate the total inputs available at one particular neuron, and then we try to match with our condition, whatever condition we have given for firing, and if it is reached, then the neuron will going to fire. Then we also saw that closed loop system, which was the central nervous system, and then you will have to basically describe about central nervous system, how it takes the responses through the receptors, signals to the receptors. Now the signals can be generated within the body or it can be generated outside the body. If it is generated to the external world, then you can take the signal from the receptors. But if it is generated within the body only, then within the body only the signals can be given to the central nervous system. Okay, and then once the central nervous system will get the signal, it will try to process it, it will try to match with any already stored information, it will try to retrieve it, and based on that it will try to give some commands to the effectors. If certain actions to be needed, the motor organs will be given the command and it will do the action, and after performing everything, it will take the feedback. So the feedback can be of two types: internal feedback and external feedback. External feedback is given when anything happens externally, and if something happens within the body, then the internal feedback will be generated and it will be given to the central nervous system. So there are basically 10 raised to 11 10 raised to 11 competing elements are available, which are called as what? Neurons. So please remember, a human brain consists of approximately 10 raised to 11 computing elements, that is called as what? Neurons, and approximately 10 raised to 4 synapses per neuron. So if 10 raised to 11 computing elements neurons are there, so these neurons keep on some neurons will damage, some neurons will go through the wear and tear. Okay, some new neurons will be generated. So this is a continuous process in human life. Okay, this will go on. This will go until we'll die. Okay, from the birth, but the same replication is very difficult in artificial neural network. So once we have designed any circuit, okay, and if any for example, suppose memory is there, right? Or let's say the example of the yesterday grid failure only. So Tata has two grid, the information which I received. Okay, so they had two grid. One grid, if suppose it getting tripped, then the another grid automatically used to switched on, right? But simultaneously, what happened? First grid failed, and then the second grid also failed. So in so many years, this is, I think, first time this happened. So this is what they had, the redundant grid. But similar way, if we are doing this kind of human behavior in the artificial neural network, if we are bringing, then we will have to do redundancy. Okay, if one network connection is there, suppose that get fails, or one memory is there, suppose that memory fails, then another memory should be activated. So that thing is there. So redundancy increases, but exact behavior of these things to replicate, it's very, very difficult. So this is about the human brain and biological neuron. If you are having any doubt anywhere, please ask me. Otherwise, we will proceed. So if you are having any doubt, please ask me. I took some time to explain because it's very important to understand from the start entire thing, and then we can proceed. I think for your batch, I only took ML starting part, a few chapters.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So no doubt. If you have any doubt, please ask me. So these books are there. Let me check. Okay, I'll see later. Then I will be definitely having the copy of that Zurada. No, it's not there. Okay, I'll check on the model. It will be there. Okay, now let's come to artificial neuron model. Okay, artificial neuron model. So the first artificial neural network was made. That was by McCulloch and Pete's neuron model. So what they did, the first formal definition of a syntactic neuron model was formulated by McCulloch and Page in 1943. Can you imagine in 1943 first model was done, okay? And it was there even before that. This neural network and AI was there, right? And even though it was, for example, today is 2020, right? And almost 100 years passed. And before that also it was there, I think from 1860 onwards and all. And so many years still passed, and we are saying that in next 40 50 years the robots are of such kind that it may try to replace the human being. But whether that is possible, okay, because see, already 200 years are almost passed and still we are not even much closer to the human brain. Okay, still a long way ahead. And then also, so it's not very easy to exactly replicate the human brain. Okay, exactly, I mean, it's not easy to replace the human completely. The moment it will happen, then we won't be no, we won't be teaching you, right? There will be entire thing will be done with the robots only. Just wait for 1 minute. Okay. So the first model was made in 1943, McCulloch-Pitts model. Now what they did what? They tried to understand the neuron in the human brain, and they thought that if somewhere at one particular place the signal is coming and it is getting accumulated, so let's say for example the synaptic gap, and then it will wait for certain period of time, then the neuron fires if this is excitatory signal, and then it will send the to the neighboring neuron. So the similar way, let's design one network where we will collect the input at one junction, and then at this particular junction we will keep some threshold function, and based on that, once the threshold will reach, then this will produce certain output. So what they did, and they connected that particular neuron with some inputs and connected with the weights, and then they are taking the output. So weights can be what? Inhibitory as well as excitatory, plus one or minus one. And let's say the inputs are given in the form of 0 and 1, right? So the inputs xi for inputs are, that is xi means what, this x1 x2 x up to xn, these are the inputs, are 0 or 1 depending on the absence or presence of the input pulse at any instant. The neuron's output signal is denoted by O. So this is the neuron output signal O. So the firing rule for this particular model is defined as follow. So what should be the firing rule for this particular model? So this is defined as like, this output will be 1 or 0 based on if if this criteria is satisfied. If it will exceed to one threshold value, then this will fire 1. If this will not exceed the threshold value, then it will fire what, 0. So this is what we are doing. Actually, we are multiplying. I'm sure you have done this kind of problem. So we are multiplying just weight with the inputs, and we are doing the summation. For example, x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus xn, let's say xn into wn, and we will calculate this entire thing, and then we will try to put in the function. If any function is over there, right, let's say sigmoid function is there, or any such kind of function is there, we will try to put that particular value inside that function. We will try to get the output. So this is a condition. Okay. So what is the terminology relation between biological and artificial neuron? A biological neuron is given over here, and the artificial neuron is given over here. So in biological neuron, we call cell or soma, okay, and here we say what, neuron, right? Here we are having the dendrites, and here we are having the weights or interconnections in the artificial neural network. Then we are having the soma, and here we are having the net input. We are having the axon, and we are having the output. Axon, output. So basically, just remember, we are having the neuron, weights or interconnection, and then we will calculate the total net input. So this is what a neuron. Then we are having the weights. By weights, the inputs will be connected to this neuron, and then what we will do, we will simply use the formula x1 into w1 plus x2 into w2 plus xn into wn. We will calculate the output, I mean total input at this particular. So this is what sigma y in. Okay, we will calculate the sigma y in, that is the addition of multiplication of weights and inputs of all the inputs. And then if any function is specified, any rule is specified, based on that we will try to see whether it will going to fire or not. Okay. Now one important thing, one difference is there between biological neuron and artificial neuron, or you can also say this is a difference between brain versus computer. So you can make two columns. You can make two columns, and simultaneously you can write also this difference. Okay, I'll start explaining. And the first column is the criteria. So on what based on which criteria we are writing this particular difference. Okay. So the first one is speed. So what do you think about speed? Which one will be faster? Anybody can answer?
Biological.
Okay. Anybody else?
Computer.
Yeah. So actually it's a computer which will going to faster, because computer, the way we want, we can increase its speed depending on in how much nanoseconds it will try to process it, right? And biological neuron have certain kind of limitation. So if you see here, the first difference is what, the cycle time of execution in the artificial neural network is a few nanoseconds. In the artificial neural network is a few nanoseconds. It can even go, I mean, we can increase that. But in the brain, it's slower. In case of biological neuron, it is of a few milliseconds. So it happens in few milliseconds, whereas here we talk about nanoseconds and all. So you can just note down the first difference. So in brain, it's slower. In artificial neural network, it's more faster. Okay. all of you received your marks now, that test marks, because on the same day I released, but 4 or 5 mails got bounced, and then I told Mandar because the mail entered was wrong, and then to 4 5 members also I think Mandar has sent. So I think everybody got their marks of the exam. Then second point, processing. So for artificial neural network can perform several parallel operations simultaneously, and it is faster, okay, because it's having the speed. And brain can also perform several operations parallel simultaneously, but it is slower. So the parallel processing is both at both the places in artificial neural network as well as in the brain, right? But here it's faster, and there in the brain it's slower. This depends on the designing of the thing, okay? If we are designing slow circuit and all, then obviously it will be slower. Size and complexity. Size and complexity of artificial neural network is based on the chosen application and the network designer. If it is very complex, then for example, if the problem is very complex, then we require more hidden layer, right? So it depends the size and complexity. It depends the type, based on the type of kind of application. Okay? And here the size and the complexity of the biological neuron is more than that of artificial neuron. So it doesn't matter how much complex this artificial neural network is there, but it has no match to our this brain biological neuron, right? It's always very complex, and still till now not entire part is fully understood by the doctors and all. Then storage capacity. So storage capacity, you know that here we are having the limitation of the memory, right? But brain has no limitation. Okay, in the brain we can store unlimited information, right? So storage probably is not there with the brain, but storage probably is there with artificial neural network. So in artificial neural network, it is stored in its contiguous memory locations. In an artificial neural network, continuous loading of new information may sometimes overload memory location. Okay, as a result, some of the addresses containing older memory location may be destroyed. We say in the C programming and all that if certain at one particular address some information is there, we may overwrite on that particular information, right? So it may happen in our brain also continuously. Just 1 minute. Hello, hello. कैसा था पेपर? Hello, can all of you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
The one call was there regarding that exam. Okay, so let's complete this today. Storage capacity. So I was explaining about this artificial neural network. It is stored in the contiguous memory location. So sometimes we do the operation and we are continuously uploading on no in the memory, and it may happen that it will override some previous memory or the next memory. It may happen, but and certain memory location may be destroyed. Once it is destroyed, it cannot be retrieved also, right? Here, biological neuron store the information in the interconnections or in synaptic strength. So that synaptic interconnection is there, or the synapses strength is there. There it will try to store the information. So in case of brain, new information can be added in the interconnection by adjusting the strength without destroying the older information. So this is the benefit of biological neuron. Then in that only, in artificial neural network, once the information is stored in its memory location, it can be retrieved. एक बार information डाल दिया, you can retrieve any time, right? This is advantage of artificial neural network. But disadvantage related to brain is that sometimes its memory may fail to recollect the stored information. Sometimes क्या मेरे साथ तो हमेशा ही होता है, मैं कल का बात ही भूल जाता हूँ, right? मुझे आज याद नहीं रहता. So this problem is always there. We can collect, we can fill lots of information, okay, in the brain, but when time comes to retrieve it, it's very, I mean, depends on kind of quality of brain, right? So some people may retrieve earlier, but some may face the problem. But in artificial neural network, once the information is stored and command is given, it can be retrieved very easily. Then the tolerance. So the artificial neural network is having this tolerance, they are having to some extent. Biological neuron poses fault tolerant capability. So it is also having fault tolerant capability. So in artificial neural network, the information gets corrupted if the network interconnection are disconnected. Okay, if the network interconnection is disconnected, it is corrupted. And here, the distributed nature of the biological neuron enables to store and retrieve information even when the interconnection in them gets disconnected. So suppose any connection is destroyed, but still, I mean, it's the inherent nature of this biological neuron. Okay, they are having the distributed information. For example, you know the distributed application like any banking application or any website, e-commercial website we are having. Our data is distributed, right? So if one server data is lost, then we can retrieve the data from the other server, so that data will be there, right? So that is a distributed nature. It is inherent in biological neuron, right? And here, if a network connection is not there, then nothing can be done. Okay, in artificial neural network, it's not possible, whereas in biological neural network can accept redundancies. Even when some cells die, the human neuron system appears to be performing with some efficiency. Okay, some cells, even if they will die, then also the, I mean, biological neuron can perform, can have some performance without showing any effect. Then we are having the control mechanism. So control mechanism in artificial neural network using computer, there is a control unit present in CPU which can transfer and control precise scalar values from unit to unit. So in artificial neural network, processor possesses simpler interconnection and is free from chemical action, similar to those taking place in brain. So these control mechanism of an artificial neural network is very simple compared to that of biological neuron. But if you see over here, the there is no such control unit for monitoring in the brain. So strength of a neuron in the brain depends on the active chemical present and whether neuron connections are strong or weak as a result of structure layer rather than individual synapses. So, but obvious here in brain we are having complex structure, but here in the artificial neural network we are having much simpler structure and no such kind of chemical reaction and all. Whereas here we are having the biological chemical reaction. तो वो जो मुन्ना भाई एमबीबीएस का किसी ने मूवी देखा रहेगा तो उसमें संजय दत्त बोलता है कि कुछ केमिकल का लोचा है ब्रेन में, तो सच में केमिकल का लोचा है. Some chemical reaction take place. So completed all of you this thing? If you have anything, please ask me. So till here we have completed it, finished entire thing of related to biological part. And let's see few applications also. So applications of neural network like air traffic control. Okay. Then we are having stock markets. We are having data mining for data mining. Then handwriting and typewriting, handwriting recognition, typewriting, medical diagnosis. Obviously, we are having medical research, voice recognition. We are having weather prediction. Then photos and fingerprints recognition. Okay, music composition. One or two people are doing also the project based on this. Fraud detection. Okay, for example, credit card, insurance, or taxes. Any fraud is there. Then river water level prediction, scheduling buses. You name any application and you will find the application on neural network and machine learning. Traffic flows at signal, whether okay. So all these few listed over there, but you just name and it will find the application. So I think we should stop over here, and if you have any doubt, please ask me. And then from the next lecture, we will proceed ahead with the artificial neural network. Yeah, from this part. And I'll see that all these informations, that Zurada book, in that book, the initial part is there. I'll just try to take the pages from that particular book. So should we terminate? No doubt is there, all of you? Okay. Okay then, Mandar. Mandar went.
Sir.
Mandar, send me the attendance later. Okay. Chalo, bye all of you. We'll be sharing these handwritten notes. Yes, yes. Immediately I'll upload these my these handwritten notes. बट उसमें तुम लोगों को कितना समझ में आएगा वो थोड़ा एक प्रॉब्लम है. बट एक बार मैंने एक्सप्लेन किया तो आ जाएगा समझ में. बट जहाँ से भी मेरे को बुक से मिलेगा, मोस्टली आगे का पार्ट सब शिवानंदम एंड दीपा से लिया है, एंड स्टार्टिंग वाला थोड़ा पार्ट है वो जुराडा बुक से. तो मैं वो जुराडा बुक देखता हूँ, वहाँ पे पेजेस मिल गया तो वो अपलोड करता हूँ. ओके. Okay, bye all of you. Thanks a lot.